Hello everyone, and welcome back to another exciting episode of the X-Ring. I do want to say thank you to everyone that watches the channel, and thank you for making it so successful. So what we're going to do today is, after I did the Mini Fix SD video, there were a ton of comments about the inaccuracy of that rifle. So what we're going to do today is we're going to pit David against Goliath. I have two identical brand new Mini Fix SDs by Q. You can see them back here behind me. They are set up identically. They both have brand new 2.5 to 20s on them. And I do want to give a big shout out to Tony. You know who you are, for allowing me to use the other one. It's unfired. It's a direct comparison to the Ruger American 300 Blackout. This comes with a threaded barrel, so you can go to any gun store in the USA and you're probably going to find one of these on the shelf for around $500 to $550, and you're walking out the door. Now, what I want to do is pit it with a suppressor that I think is something that's worthy of this. And I haven't reviewed this suppressor. I do want to give a big shout out to AB Suppressors. Those guys make some unbelievable suppressors. And case in point, this is the Raptor 762 with the reflex mount on it. If you're not familiar with the reflex mount, basically it goes over the barrel to give you more internal volume, but this can be removed and you can actually just run it this length right here. So this is a very effective suppressor. I'm going to try to do some sound comparisons so that you guys can hear them head to head. And I've just thrown a Burris XTR Pro on here. This is actually a really good opt. Now, we're also going to look at a slew of different ammunition. You know, I had a lot of people basically say that the ammunition was horrible, or, you know, basically that the rifle wasn't worth what they were costing, because that is about $4,000. By the time you put these optics on here, you're looking at about a $6,400 package with everything in the way that it sits. What we're going to test is we're going to test some Remington. Now, this is what I'm going to test last. This is Remington Match. And this is actually supersonic ammunition, but there was something that I found during the review of the other Q Mini Fix SD. I had read some complaints about light primer strikes, and when I tried to fire this ammunition, it would not set it off reliably. I was getting about one firing for every 3 shots that I tried. And so I'm wondering if some of these Q-Fix SDs have light primer strikes. Now, on all the other ammunition, there was no issue. So maybe Remington used, you know, some harder cups. We're also going to try the Defender ammunition. This is subsonic. This is 220 grain. It's just a full metal jacket. We also have some Silencer Co. Harvester. This is actually a 208 grain subsonic. I don't even know if they make this anymore. Uses an AMAX bullet. We'll try it. And then I also have this in this brown box, which I'm going to not show anybody else. If you know, you know what this is. This is actually for certain units that were issued that ammunition, and that's supposed to be some good stuff. And then I also have some discreet ballistics. Now, if you guys follow on social media, I'm not real big on Instagram or anything like that, but Discreet Ballistics actually called me out about a statement, and that was, I would never recommend hunting with subsonic bullets. And you have to remember, as a content creator, gun tuber, whatever you want to call it, I got to be careful with statements, because if someone takes their AR-15 and starts loading full metal jacket in it and starts shooting 300 Blackout subsonic thinking they're going to drop a deer, well, it might drop the deer, but more than likely it's not. More than likely it's going to make a wound, it's not going to open up or expand, and you're going to probably lose it through tracking. You have to remember, guys, a 300 Blackout subsonic is the equivalent of a 45 ACP, period, end of story. Has about the same energy, and so how many guys do you know of that actually hunt with a 45 ACP? And you also have to remember that in some states there is a minimum power requirement. In Colorado, for example, you have to have 1,000 foot-pounds of energy at 100 yards. And you're not going to have anywhere near that, not even half that, shooting a 300 Blackout subsonic round regardless of the weight. Even if it's like a 220 round, you're not going to have that energy. It's probably going to be in the 400s or something. Now, you can't compare them exactly, because a 45 ACP doesn't have the penetration capability of a 300 Blackout subsonic, just because of the profile of the cartridge. However, it's the same energy. Now, apparently Discreet Ballistics took that personally. I've been using Discreet Ballistics for quite a while. I've shot the 300 Blackout subs as well as their 8.6 ammunition. And they make some great stuff. They really do. They do some solid coppers that really have great expansion, but you know, that's on you. I'm not going to say that you can't hunt with like a solid copper that has great expansion properties. You know, it'd kind of be like hunting with a bow and arrow or a crossbow that has an expanding point. You know, you don't go out there hunting deer with field points, but you know, the right ammunition for the job. But I'm still going to stick to what I said, and that is I don't recommend hunting with a 300 Blackout subsonic. And we were able to talk about it amicably. You know, I don't like being called out on social media. Tell me about it and I can at least address it like I am right now. So nothing bad to say against them. It's just I'm still going to stand by my statement. Don't hunt with actually, don't hunt even with this. This is an open tip match round. This is not going to be an expanding round. So we're trying to use some good ammunition for this comparison. So enough talking. Let's get to shooting and let's compare them. Let's go ahead and get them on paper. All right, so before we get started with the accuracy test, the first thing I need to do is let you guys hear first round pop. None of these suppressors have had a single round through them, and what we're going to do is I'm going to take this microphone and I'm going to attach it to the camera. You might not be able to hear me talk, but at least you'll be able to hear what it hears from there. What I'm going to do is line the end of the suppressor up with the end of the shooting platform. I'm going to do that for the Q Minifix SD, then Q Minifix SD, and then we will do the AB suppressors. Now, I do realize the barrel is longer on the Ruger AC on the Ruger American 300 Blackout, but it doesn't matter. This is a big suppressor on this SD. So I want you to hear that first, and I guess the ammunition that we're going to use is the discrete ballistics because this is 190 grain, and I think it would probably be the loudest anyway, even though it's subsonic. So we'll test it just for first round pop and then subsequent shot. So I'll do 2 shots out of each of these 3 rifles. I do have another rifle, the Ruger American. However, it is I don't have 2 suppressors that are the same, so I don't think it'd be fair. I'm just going to do that one once. So here we go. Pretty darn quiet. All right, so you got to hear all 3 rifles with first round pop. I think everyone's going to agree that the AB was actually quieter. We're going to start off with discrete ballistics again. Unfortunately, I would love to do 5-shot groups, guys. You know that when I have it, I'll do it. But to do 3 rifles, 5-shot groups, I'm at 15 rounds. It's going to cost too much money to do that, and I think 3 shots group should at least show somewhat of an average. you know, it's good enough. If not, donate some money to the channel, I guess. I don't know how, because I don't even do Patreon or anything like that. But I do think that 3 shots will at least show you kind of an average. Now remember, all subsonic ammunition kind of shoots differently, so we're just going to have to look at the group size itself. All right, so I have to be very specific about the way I do this. This rifle right here is going to be Q1 on the target. It's going to be the first column. Then we've got Q2, then RA1, which will be the beige Ruger American, and then RA2 will be the black one. So first thing we're going to do is load 3 rounds, and remember, it might not be zeroed for the ammunition, but it'll be close enough to give us an idea. So we'll do 3 shots of discrete ballistics with Q1, and I'll do my best to get a good group, of course. So here we go. Okay, not bad at all for this rifle, but enough. We need to go to the next one. So now we're going to Q2, so it'll be the next column down. We'll do 3 shots, and we are at 50 yards, folks, 50 yards. All right, we are at 50 yards. This is Q2, second column down. Here we go. Discreet. Yeah, it's low, but I don't want to chamber with this point. Okay, so that's horrible. And by the way, just for reference, Q2 is actually the rifle that we had for the review. This is the one that was loaned to me by Tony for today. So we're going to keep that in the same order. And then now we're going to go to the Ruger American with discreet. So it'll be the next column down. The action's definitely not as refined, but remember, it's $500. Oh, and by the way, we do have them on the same power, 20 for all of them. I'd actually zero this rifle with discreet. Don't pay attention to where it's at, we just want the group. Definitely the Ruger wins, even beating out group 1 at the top with Q1. So far, a win for the Ruger. All right, so what we're gonna do now is go and just reverse order, and we're gonna go to Defender. This is 300 blackout, 220 grain, total metal jacket, TMJ. And now we will be on the 3rd column down, which is the Ruger American, and it will be the 2nd target over, labeled DEF at the top. So it's not diesel exhaust fluid, but here we go. What? I like that one. Bullseye. Okay, so it threw that last one. I didn't do that. Let's go over to the next one, which will be Q2. All right, so now this will be the 2nd column down. And I can tell you based on the other one, I'm going to go ahead and bring everything up because we're just looking at group size, but I don't want to lose it off the target. So I'm going to come up about 1/2 mil or so. Q2 def, here we go. Okay, it's actually going to be a pretty close run between these two with that ammo. And we'll go back to Q1, 2nd target over. Okay, so it dropped it low. Remember, I didn't come up on that. It is actually in the Q2 target on target number 4, but I'll show you that. Let's do, I don't know where the, yeah, look at that spread, guys. Ooh. Yeah, so this one doesn't do too well. All right, so what we're gonna do now is go to this special military ammo, and we'll do 3 rounds of it. I will tell you this stuff is super, super quiet. This will not function in certain rifles. It is military, so it is going to have a hard primer. So I'm interested in seeing if the Q will actually fire this one off. Here we go. Q1, third target over. Not bad. Not a light primer strike, just light. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to recock it and try it again. Hit it twice. Nothing. We're going to eject that round and load one more. All right, so let me just go ahead and grab one out of the box. Okay, not bad, but we did have one round that didn't fire. We're gonna go to Q2 with 3 shots. All right, what do you think, guys? Do you think it's going to fire? This one does seem to shoot better than the other one. We're on Q2, third target over. It's okay that it's right. We don't care about that. Oh, so 2 out of 3 rounds in both of the Qs. I'm not even gonna, you know what, I'll restrike it, but it's not gonna go off. All right, there you have it. Actually, let me do another one just for the grouping. Okay, so actually not too bad. This the second rifle actually groups better than that first one. I can definitely tell you that from the evaluation. So now let's go with the Ruger. We're not going to do these strikes that were already hit. All right, so RA1, third target over, third column down. Definitely a Ruger American action. All right, so 2 in the same hole and then 1, no problem with the grouping. All right, so a little snafu. The person at the store grabbed one that was not threaded, and I didn't know until I just now opened the box. So unfortunately, I can't do that testing. I'm not going to do it without a suppressor on there. This is a evaluation of these. So just in these 3 alone, based on every target that I saw, the Ruger American actually won. It won in accuracy with 3 different types of ammo, but we're getting ready to, since we're down a rifle, we're just going to test it with silencer co-harvester, and we'll just use the bottom. We'll do a 3-shot group out of each of these. Actually, we'll do a 5-shot group because we're down a rifle. And as far as quietness, I think just based on what I heard for first round pop and everything, I'm going to have to give it to the AB suppressors. The AB makes some really, really awesome suppressors. But then again, so does Q, but I think maybe you're hearing that now on the difference, especially with first round pop. So let's go ahead and just jump over to Silencer Co. Harvester. We'll do 5 shots out of each 3 of the rifles. And just so that you guys can keep this clear, you'll have to watch the order. So the order is going to be Ruger American, then it's going to be Q2, then Q1, okay? And we'll just do the bottom column. So here we go. And this is a brand new box that I just opened up of the Silencer Co. Harvester. We're going to be on the bottom column, first target for the Ruger American. All right, here we go, guys. Okay, so the 0 should hold. All right, so that's 5 shots at 50 yards, and we're gonna be right at an inch or so, maybe just a hair over. I'll try to get you a measurement on that. Now we're gonna go to Q2. It'll be the next target over to the right. Guys, we're trying every different type of ammunition that we can to give them the benefit of the doubt. But I'm really, you know, guys, since I started the channel, I've really learned a couple things about frugality. I mean, we all like nice things, okay? And while this $4,000 without optic Q Minifix SD is super, super nice, it is definitely nicer than the Ruger American. Fit, finish, quality, everything. But is it worth it? This one likes that stuff. Okay, so Q2 actually did really well with the Silencer Co. Harvester, which I thought it might, because I know that was some really good ammo back in the day. I don't even know if they still make this anymore. But then we'll try Q1, which was decent for 50 yards with subsonics. So we're gonna go for target 3. Here we go. That's loud. I think this one cooled a lot. Okay, there you have it. And before anybody says, is this suppressor tight? Yes, it's tight. No looseness whatsoever. You know, sometimes you get a Monday gun, sometimes you get a Wednesday gun. And sometimes you get a Friday gun. All right, so now that the testing is done, I want to know your comments below. What do you think? Are these Qs worth it and worth that $4,000 price point? Remember, I can get this one right here. Actually, the way that those sit, remember, we're over $6,000, whereas this one right here, you know, we're basically looking at $550. About $1,000 for the can, so let's just say $1,550 plus the $2,000 optic. You're looking at $3,550 somewhere in there, and you're saving. You could have 2 of these set up just the same way, and the accuracy seemed to be better on the Ruger American. While it's not as trick, that leaves plenty of money behind to be able to buy a different chassis, you know, depending on what you wanted to put in the, I mean, you could do a, you know, an MDT, you could do, you know, a Magpul, whatever, because I'm not a big fan of the chassis itself. It's kind of ugly, but remember, it's $550. As far as the AB suppressors, they do continue to impress me. I'm going to show you this one up close. Remember, this is the Raptor 762. Big shout out to the guys over at AB Suppressors. You know, they do some great stuff, but with this reflex mount, guys, let me get a little closer. With this reflex mount, you just take your thread protector off, and with the reflex, it's going to slide over and thread inside. So you're going to have a bigger volume can with less sticking out, so you're not adding to the overall length too much. So with this reflex module, this can be taken off, and let's say you didn't want to run this module, you can actually take it off. This has a baffle in and of itself right here, but they make a direct thread cap that goes on the back side, and so now you'll be looking at a length that's somewhere about right in there. It won't be as effective. This actually adds quite a bit more volume, but having that over the barrel feature is actually pretty nice. Now, the other thing about it is you can get reflex modules that will fit over a 1-inch barrel. I don't want to be squeaking while I'm on camera too much. This one will fit anything 3/4 and under, so you're good with that one, but just know which one you're getting if you get one of these. You know, you've got different lengths of reflex that you can actually buy, quite a few different lengths depending on how quiet you want it. But they do make some awesome suppressors, so definitely check out AB Suppressors and let me know what you think about the testing. David versus Goliath. Just like in the Bible, David won. You guys take care. Have a great week. We'll talk to you soon.